Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. First of all, I pay respect to the Buddha, to the Dhamma, and to the Sangha. I pay respect to Venerable Bhante Ratanananda. I pay respect to Venerable Bhante Prayatissa. I pay respect to all the Samaneras present. Venerable Yanarankara, Venerable Yanarankara, Venerable Yanananda, Venerable Ichananda, Venerable Aryananda, and Venerable Aryananda. Before I start, I'd like to chant a Gatha. The Gatha I'm going to chant is from the Dhammapada. The Dhammapada is a book of the Khuddaka Nikaya. The Khuddaka Nikaya is part of the Sutta Pitaka. Parechanna vijannati mayametta yamamase yeche tatta vijannati tato sammanti medhaga. There are those, the translation, there are those who do not know that all of us in this world will perish. Those who know this, stop all their quarrels. This verse was uttered by the Buddha after a sudden incident which involved the bhikkhus of Kosambi who had a dispute between them. What happened was, while the Buddha was staying at one monastery, the bhikkhus there, some bhikkhus were focusing on the Vinaya, some bhikkhus were focusing on the Dhamma. So the bhikkhus of the Vinaya found offense with the bhikkhus of the Dhamma. How it started, the teacher, there was a monk who was leading the monks of the Vinaya, and the monk was leading the monks of the Dhamma. When the monk was leading the Vinaya monks told the Dhamma monk, the leader of the Dhamma monks, the issue, the Dhamma monk said, I did not know that this breaks the Vinaya. So the Vinaya monk told him, so you don't know the Vinaya? He said, I know the Vinaya. So the Vinaya monk told him, so were you lying? He said, no, I was not lying. So this Vinaya monk went and told one of his students. The monk who leads the Dhamma followers doesn't know the Vinaya. He tells lies, and he doesn't know the Vinaya. So this student went and met one of the students of I call him the Dhamma monk, and he told him, your teacher doesn't know the Vinaya. Your teacher tells lies. That's how the quarrel began. In the end, all the students were involved, from their leaders to the lowest one. But the Buddha was also staying at that monastery. So the Buddha knew of this quarrel between them. The Buddha told them to stop their quarrels, but they refused, even when the Buddha himself told them. So what he did, he left them to be as they liked. Because he told them to stop something, they refused. He just left them, and he went to spend the rain retreat in a forest alone. So during this time, the people also noticed that the Buddha has left. Why? Because these monks had misbehaving. But unfortunately, the people decided not to give them food as they were giving them before, not to pay them respect like that as they were doing before, because they say these monks have annoyed the Buddha. They are not good monks. So you should also not treat them like venerable stars. And that's how it began. But unfortunately, it was the time of the rain retreat when the monks can't travel to go to the forest where Buddha was to request for forgiveness and to request him to come back. So they had to stay for 3 months, for the 3 months of the Vasa season, in such harsh conditions as they were treated by the lay people. They had to endure it, but it was like the consequence of their actions. While living in the forest, it said the Buddha was being attended to by an elephant and a monkey. But then, yeah, that was how the Buddha lived in the forest, secluded for the 3 months. And then, after the 3 months were over, Venerable Ananda led other monks, and they went to the Buddha to request for forgiveness and told him to come back. So, and that's when the Buddha had this gatha, when he told them that we all must die. So, instead of wasting time with your quarrels, you should rather give up your quarrels. What the Buddha was trying to say, as I understand, is that if we waste time with quarreling, with I actually see a similarity between this is the 6th verse of the Dhammapada. I see similarity between the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th verse. They are all about the same thing: leaving behind hatred, knowing that what your mind does will have consequences, and even this one is about leaving behind your quarrels. All they tell us is to lead a peaceful life and forgiving wholeheartedly and forgetting others' mistakes. Now, in this instance, the Buddha reminded them that they must all die. Why should they quarrel? We are all going to die. Some of us quarrel for things we have on earth. I might have a pair of shoes. Someone wears the shoes. He comes back, I start quarreling with that person. That is not right, because I will die. If I'm to die, the shoes will remain on earth. They might even get spoiled before I die. I will forget them. So quarreling over some material things is not very good. For me, I personally think it is rather better to spend that time purifying our minds, removing that anger from our minds, because anger has consequences. I'd like to finish my Dhamma talk, and once again I pay respect to the Buddha, to the Dhamma, and to the Sangha, to Venerable Bhante Ratanananda, to Venerable Bhante Priyatissa, and all the other venerables present. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.